Hi there. Welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. This week's discussion topics, as always, include anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. So that's pretty much everything. If you're watching, please say hello. I apologize for being a few minutes late. I'd love to hear what you have to say tonight. This week, is it my imagination or has this week been insane? Insaner than usual because it's always insane. I think things are getting worse. So you got to tell me what you think because, man, I've been just bombarded by just horrible things. Oops, I'm going to say it wrong. Don't hate me. Bunta Fuhawara. You are so sweet. Oh, my goodness. Okay, you're charming. Oh, my gosh, that's funny. Thank you. That's very sweet. Very cute. You flustered me. Now I don't know where I'm at. This week's discussion topics, as always, like I said, anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption. Anastasia, how are you? Oh, my gosh, I'm so thrilled to have you. I need your input. Thanks for being here. Melanated Misfit. Yay. Awesome. Hey, can't really talk. Just listen while I drive. Oh my gosh. Thrilled to have you. Thrilled to have you anyway. Thank you so much. Oh, it's okay. You have a life. It's okay. Thank you. Well, the show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak their minds and also to serve as an educational tool for white folks who maybe are just learning or kind of curious or wondering about systemic racism in America. Maybe they don't have anyone to talk to, or they just want to know what is going on. And so they've come to the right place. And Dan, yay, I'm happy to have you. Global Entertainment TV, welcome. Welcome, yay. Oh, I'm so happy to have everybody. I have tons. Oh, yay, sweet. Thank you, Anastasia. There's tons of stuff to go over tonight. If you have topics that you want to talk about, just let me know. If I don't know about them, then you get to be the teacher and inform me, and we'll all jump in. And I really appreciate it. I want to say a big shout out thank you to people who have been sending me amazing, breaking news on things I could not keep up this week if I tried, and I tried. So I wanted to say thank you for that. So before we start, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. My goal is to be a conversation starter, an example of a person who talks about racism when most white folks really don't want to talk about racism. I don't know everything, but I'm here to learn too. And I'm here to educate as much as I can. Global Entertainment TV. How was your COVID-19 containment at home with, you know what? The funniest thing is, like my oldest said, Mom, we've been practicing for this for years. My life hasn't changed any. That just shows about what I do. So nice, huh? Dan, a giant thank you. Dan, my friend Dan, who I am just loving, is got me all hooked up with Instagram. I have no clue what I'm doing, but I do it anyway. Thank you so much, Dan. You see, I need all the help I can get. And I'm very open, shall we say, about me needing help. So I have a couple announcements and then let's get started. And please tell me what you think. Don't be shy. No one's going to jump on you here except me. No, just kidding. I'm not really into jumping on people. So my first announcement. I'm getting there. Nails and glitter. Thank you, Nails and Glitter. I hope you're talking about me. You think you know? Just kidding. Thank you. You're so good to me. I'm very excited. I'm starting a podcast with a certain person. We're going to see how it goes. I have a bunch of new kind of series. And remember, what I put up on my YouTube channel, it doesn't have to be like these famous, amazing events. It can be anything that matters to you. So bring it on, send it on. If you have a story to tell, I know I'm excited, Nails and Glitter. If you have a story to tell, or you know someone who has a story to tell, bring it on. And I'm not going to say, oh, that's not popular enough. It's your story. It matters because it's you. And if it matters to you, then it matters. So I'm not always looking for, the most breaking news, because that's in the news. I'm looking for real talk about people's real lives. And I have a couple cool things coming up. I'm always looking for breaking news and stories that you think are important about racism, bigotry, inequality, and corruption in America. So the closer to a primary source, the better. If you see a breaking story and you feel strongly about it and you want me to get it out to as many people as possible, send it my way and just say, I feel really strongly that people need to know this. And I'll do the best we can. Let's discuss some Global Entertainment TV. You're going to want to leave. Okay. You guys are going to want to leave. Let's discuss something happy things about this containment in America. You lead the way and I'll follow. I noticed I had a little trend going on today in what I was writing about. And it's all, I don't know if you guys think this, but it seems like a lot of bad shit's going down, racially speaking. Well, I'll get started and I'll tell you what I have planned, and you can jump in if you have anything else or want to comment. Okay. Might be a quick show. People will be like, I'm out of here. Bloody Pond. Hello. Next is either the bullet or the ballot. Yeah. Yes. I actually posted a couple things this week that basically said there's a special day coming up called November 3rd. And I think that's kind of do or die for our country, and hence for the people of our country who are so often abused. Nails and Glitter. I've used this time to reevaluate what's important and what can be let go, especially related to money. Dang, that is an awesome, awesome comment. Bring it on. I got you. Bring it on. Anyone who else wants to, you can always talk about COVID-19 and being at home and all that here. Anytime you feel like it. Global Entertainment. The world's not all bad guys. Yeah, I do get quite a skewed view, I have to say, from the comments that I get and from the people who talk to me. People aren't negative and a downer to me. It's just, here's my take. I know there are good people in the world, but I see this nation as a nation that could do so much better. This just can't be our best. For the white folks, it's all about getting educated. It's not that hard. It really isn't. You just have to care. And I know a lot of people care and they just don't know where to start. So get a hold of me. I will help you. I will not, I will not harm you. I will help you. I meet people where they're at. At least I try to. I meet people where they're at and we go from there. So if you want to learn about your real racial history and, from somebody like me who doesn't know everything, I'm still learning and I will always be still learning. That's it. The journey never ends for white folks. We'll never know what it's like, okay, to live in a nation that's whole premise is based on white supremacy. But we can try. So let me get to some of these announcements. And I know I sound probably negative on here a little bit sometimes, and I don't mean to, but the topic that I'm doing is a very serious one, and but it needs to be talked about. I want white folks to see that I talk about it every week and all throughout the week. And I live every time. It's a scary topic, but once you start, you get better and better. You make mistakes. Oh my God, do you make mistakes? I make mistakes. I still make mistakes constantly, but you suck it up and you learn from it. And maybe somebody thinks you're a racist piece of you-know-what because of it. And you know what? You have to just make it not about you, or else it's just too devastating. It has to be about the people who deserve equity and equality and all that. So it's kind of a mindset. Melanated misfit. Actually, the world is a pretty bad place. If you're if you put it in proper perspective, literally, people are literally dying across the world so we can use cell phones and wear diamonds. Yeah. Jamie, hello. Nails and Glitter. Thanks for being here, Jamie. Melanated Misfit, I actually kind of get what you're saying. I like to keep things very real. It might sound negative to some, but to me, it's not like this negative thing. It's just how it is. And right now, our nation and a very large portion of the world cares more about money than they do about humanity. And a lot of what I talk about is humanity, being humanistic, people first. We are all on this planet for such a short amount of time, like barely a drop of sand in a giant, forever and never-ending beach. I mean, why treat each other like a piece of shit while we're here? Why? Why would we do that? Yet that's what we do. It's like almost like our self-importance just overtakes us. Why can't we just be good to each other and care, and humans matter? And it's really tough, and it's devastating to see. But yeah, so I got you. I got it. Let me just back it up here for a second. Where's my mouse? Okay. Of course, I've already lost my spot. But Melanated Misfit, I hear you. Nails and Glitter. This has made me very anti-corporate and work-provided healthcare too. And it's made some disparities very obvious to my Republican friends, and some interesting conversations are happening. Nails and Glitter, I have to seriously credit you. You are amazing that you talk to Republican friends. I think it is an awesome thing. I can't do it. And I guess that's a very privileged place. I talk to people, but I talk to a lot of people. Okay, don't get me wrong. But anyone who's still a Republican right now and supports Trump, to me, supports all the things he supports. There's no getting around it. People, you can't say you don't know. I can't take it. I cannot take it because it's cruel. It's supporting cruelty to my fellow humans. And as a very white privileged person, that's like sick. And sure, easy for me to say, in my little corner but I live that. And anybody who really, really knows me knows I live that. And it's not hard because I've done it my whole life, because that's kind of how I was born. Okay. I'm not saying, oh, yay me. I'm saying I didn't have to unlearn racism. I think all whites are racist because I count implicit bias. Yes, I am racist, and I am constantly learning how to push back. You don't have to be perfect to care about your fellow humans who are non-white or, brown, black, African-American. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to give a shit. You really do. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect by any means, not even close. You just have to care. And I really, really care. It's a tough thing. People don't want to learn. They're afraid. If you're white, don't be afraid. You got this. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Seriously. And it's a lifetime endeavor. You'll never get there. You gotta be willing to really, really do some self-evaluation and look into you and who you are. I'm lucky. My parents never said a word in their entire lives derogatory. Not one. My grandparents didn't. Nobody around me. I've never actually heard a real life person next to me say the N-word. I mean, I am sheltered. Okay. And that's why it's such a shock. I mean, if someone ever did, I would probably flip out but I would also know how to handle it. Because here's the thing. I practiced, and that's what white folks need to do. Practice what you'd say, what you do, how you'd say it. You don't have to be evil and mean. You do it however your style is, but you got to stand up for racism everywhere, every place, every time, and do the best you can and just learn from it. Anyway, see, I'm blabbing again. Let me see here. Melanated Misfit, but you can forge a bit of happiness. I know I have through my family and friends. Yeah, absolutely. And I have too. So And I want to know how everybody else is doing with this, being sequestered at home and everything, and what your state's doing and what you think about it. I am absolutely having zero trust for our government, obviously, right? Our federal government. I'm in New York State. I feel really lucky. I didn't know much about our governor, but that man has stepped up to the freaking plate. And that's all people say what you will about him. This COVID thing, he has stepped up to the plate. So at least some leadership, my God. I mean, I feel like we've been left in the dark. We are the number one worst nation of all supposed developed industrialized nations. I find that to be absolutely unconscionable. Thousands and thousands of people are dying because our federal government absolutely is. Okay, our federal government sucks. They're incompetent, and they could give a shit about our fellow humans. And that is never in my life did I think things would go down like this. I figured, being the capitalism on steroids country that we are, it would be bad, but never this bad. No, I mean, we should have been tested all twice over. It's crazy. Don't get me started. I'm going to take comments. Global entertainment. Why do you think the world is the way it is today? We want your honest opinion. I think the world is what it is today. Wow, that's a loaded question. I think I can't really answer for the world per se, but I certainly can answer for the United States. And I'm going to say something that people are going to be appalled by, but if you know me, you know what I'm saying. We have rested on these fake laurels. We have these incredible ideologies, these incredible ideas, and they're so cool. But the dissonance between what we think is a great idea and what we're actually doing is just miles and miles and miles apart. We are not honest. We are fearful. We're fearful to delve in. We're fearful to think about what we need to do better. We like to say, oh, we're so great. We're so great. But see, you can say you're so great, but talk's cheap. And that's something I'm going to actually talk about in my rant today. Talk is cheap. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what your actions are. I don't want to hear. I want to see it, observe it, watch you as a model for it. Anyone can talk, big talk. But I want behavior. And in our nation right now, we say liberty and justice for all, yet I'd say a good 99% of white folks have absolutely no clue about our own racial history. Not one clue, zero. That's a lot of people. I mean, I honestly believe 99%. There's probably about 1% of white folks who truly have a grasp. Not that we get it, but just a grasp, a little grasp. That is abhorrent and disgusting and oh so purposeful. Absolutely purposeful. And until we understand the system that we're dealing with, white folks are just going to keep being nice to everybody and think they're doing their part, which they and we are not. Being nice to everybody doesn't cut it. We live in a system that is built on, based on, and thrives on white supremacy. Capitalism has gone nuts, unchecked, and it is a horrific combination, just horrific. So the answer to that question would be we have the worst values. We value, I could go on and on. I could go on and on. We value the wrong things. We are absolutely too materialistic, and it's gone off the charts. And it's got to change. And there's a lot of reasons for it, and I can't really get into it right now, but thank you for asking me that question. If anyone ever has a question, ask away. If some things I don't have, a pat answer to, but that I've definitely have thought about a lot. But thank you for asking. Gary, welcome. And Dan, again, I am thrilled you are here. And if I skipped you, just write in and say, excuse me, I'm here, and you didn't say hello. Okay. Let me just see here. Melanated Misfit. I always tell my boys to be extra grateful and show the people on the other side of the world, and that there are absolutely, today, you know what? And I sound like just an ingrate on here sometimes, and I know I do. Like, oh, it's not. Let me put it in perspective. I believe so strongly that this nation could possibly live up to all these wonderful ideologies that we espouse, and I want us to do it. I believe in us. I believe we can do this, but it certainly is not going to come from the top down. It's going to have to be grassroots people educating other people, and that's why I try to do this. Educate one white person, then they can get to the point where they can educate another white person. It's just going to have to be the way it is. There's no people who are not white and who have been abused and marginalized and harmed have absolutely no obligation to educate us, dingbats who just, been going through life blind. It's not your responsibility. It's our responsibility. And that is why I encourage everybody, get a hold of me. If you are a white person and you want to know more, but you're like nervous, kind of like, okay, I don't want to say something racist on it. I get that. I get that. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to feel like an idiot, but you want to learn. And once you learn, there's no turning back, because the truth truly is amazing. I seek the truth. If you're like me, you just want to know the truth. If it's ugly, it's ugly. But the truth, I'll take an ugly truth any day over the bullshit and lies we get and the propaganda. I just want the truth. I think I've said that enough. Okay, so let me see here. But you're right. I told my daughter, Melanie, I told my little girl today, because we didn't want to study, and how dare I make her read. And I said, young lady, I said, well, I don't want to go into my speech. I said, young lady, I talked to her about people who would do anything. Little girls, especially, who would do anything to be able to be sent to school and to actually learn and read. And I wasn't trying to guilt her out. You have to have a balance of that, but she needs to know how lucky she is. And it's probably a curse having a mother that's a teacher, which I am, so it's like the poor thing, but my other kids survived somehow. So she'll be okay. But anyway, let me see here. Are most Americans in America bigots? I think all white folks are racist. I don't think being racist is a yes or no question. It is a continuum basically from the subconscious, implicit bias, all the way through to, oh my God, there are levels and steps, all the way to, overt, proud. The Bible tells me that I'm great and I'm the superior one, people who are just off the freaking rocker. But there are just hundreds of steps in between. And so I don't think, are you racist, is a yes or no question for white folks. It's where on the continuum do you lie? And what I mean by that is, when you're first learning, you got to get some stuff under your belt. I mean, if you don't know what a human construct is, then you're going to have a really hard time understanding that we are all part of one race. It's called the human race. And I don't mean that to not differentiate between people who have brown, tan, black. What I'm trying to say is, folks that don't know what a human construct is, they truly believe we are different species. It's not, we need an education. So you got to start with the basics and then let it kind of like, let the person simmer with it. They get mad and everything, and let it sink in. Give them time to digest it. So you got to remember, white folks generally been lied to their entire lives, and we've bought into it. Unless your parents were special and they taught you, your school's certainly not going to teach you the truth. Your friends don't know it. Your grandparents, boy, they absolutely don't, they don't want to talk about it if they do know it, and they might not represent it. Every book is whitewashed. So we've been lied to. And you know what? When you think you know what's going on, and then you find out you absolutely have no clue what's going on, it's a bit much to take. So you got to let people digest it. But the question, do I think most Americans are bigots? Sure, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I think it's natural to allow yourself to be human, which means, I hate to say it, but we have implicit bias about everything. when you're a little tiny kid. You have to organize your world. And you do so by making some generalizations. And that is kind of bigotry, But so I don't think racism in and of itself is the worst word in the entire world. I used to think it was, but I don't. I think it's a word that needs to be talked about. And if we can't talk about it, how are, Black people and brown people and people who are marginalized because they're, more melanated than others, you guys are going to get your equity. I have no doubt. But why the hell shouldn't white people maybe support it a little bit, jump in, learn some stuff? I mean, that's my big thing. Not to be leaders, not to be on Facebook with our pictures and say how great we are, yay us. Although that is one of my videos, I called it Yay White People because it was, okay, I'm a little weird. No, because that's what we do because we care about our fellow humans. I truly believe you guys are going to laugh that if it were reversed, this is going to sound crazy. I know Black people would do it for us. I know they would. I know that sounds nuts. And I get it. If it was reversed, I truly believe that. And that's, I don't know. There's no reason for this. Anyway, I'm on a rampage. There's no reason for this humanly made construct that people actually buy into and believe. It's disgusting. So I just like to blab about it. And hopefully somebody will learn and care. It's humanism. This is nothing special. It's just act human. You can be afraid. Most white folks, 3 out of every 4 white people do not have a single close friend who's not white. So all they get is the propaganda, the BS, the lies, the stereotypes, and all that stuff. That's all they get. There is a magical thing. I actually wrote a poem. You're gonna think I'm a total geek, and I'm gonna do the poem. I won't do it tonight. I did a poem on the magic of people meeting and what that does. Just introducing, just shaking hands changes everything. Are you gonna let your friend get bullied? No. Are you gonna let your friend be discriminated against right in front of you? Hell no. No. Friendship matters so much, and it's a handshake away. And if people just would care a little bit more and reach out, and we need to reach out. It is not the responsibility of Black America to. Okay, we did this. Maybe not you personally, but we did this. We need to make Black people feel comfortable, not Black people make us feel comfortable. Okay, we're the ones who made these rules. We're the ones who allowed this to happen, and we're the one who perpetuates it. Do I think, whites are horrible? No, but we're born into this, so let's freaking do something about it and care. This is not tough stuff. Okay, speech over. No, just kidding. Yeah, right. Like I ever shut up. Let me say hello. So yes, I think most people have bigotry, and we got issues. Okay. Let me see. Where am I? You have good questions tonight, Global Entertainment TV. Thank you. It's good. It's good for me. Melanie Misfit. Yes, all Americans are bigots, whether consciously or unconsciously. See, you're concise. I'm not. That's when you got to come on here. I'm not concise at all. I'm the worst. Hi, Ghostkilla. Thanks for being here. Happy to have you. Global Entertainment TV. We scrolled. While I'm blabbing, people are having good conversations. That's good. Sorry. Whenever somebody puts a comment, it just goes wee and scrolls. I'll tell YouTube. I'm sure they'll fix it. Yeah, right. Okay. Lost my spot. Nails and glitter. They're mostly a uniformed group, and the people I'm friends with are not happy with what Trump is doing. Yeah, I actually found an organization. It's called the Lincoln Project. And I posted a poster, but people, like 20 people have seen it. They're like, who cares? Who gives a shit? Whatever. It wasn't of great interest, but I thought, you know what? I've been looking into this group for, about 6 months now. And they are a group of very, very Republican people. And they feel like Trump, they're right, is circumventing the Constitution and destroying our democratic republic. And I absolutely support them. They don't believe in Democrats' ideologies for the most part. They're not lying Republicans. They're not full of shit. I say that. They actually see what's going on. And I absolutely support them because I don't know how old you all are, but I'm old enough to remember when, yeah, we have a ton of racism in both parties. This nation is a freaking like discriminatory, like, ugh. Maybe we're in one of those big bubbles and somebody's doing an experiment. This nation is so freaking racist. It's not even funny. But this is what we got. So we got to deal with what we have. And I remember when the Republican Party wasn't like the party of racism. And I don't mean way back when they switched. I don't mean that. I remember when a person could be a humanistic Republican. Okay. And that ship has sailed. Sorry, if you're a Republican right now, you are supporting evil inhumanity and basically the tearing down and the destruction of our democratic republic. I think, as you guys know, if you watch this normally on each week, I think it's over. I think it's too late. And we're going to have a King Trump or some other something. I think it might be too late. Really sad. We've allowed capitalism to go nuts. It's crazy. It's inhumane. It's sick. It's like one of those like crazy books that are like, I can't remember the titles of them, but it's like one of those like apocalyptic, I don't know. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna take some comments and we have a lot to cover tonight and I'm just thrilled to have you here. And I will shut up. Yeah, right. I never do. Melanie Misfit. Yes, All America. Okay, got that. Da-da-da-da-da. Global Entertainment TV. American health workers and the sick and injured individuals need support from your politicians, don't you think? Unless they don't care. Yeah, absolutely. Be more specific. My politician, don't you make them my politicians. How? I don't. No, I'm just kidding. The whole politics thing I was never into until, but yeah, they're a part of white folks. And it's funny, white folks don't often look at themselves as white. So it's a really strange dynamic. You have to kind of get used to it. We are so entrenched, ingrained, and enculturated into this white supremacy. We just think we're the norm and everyone else is just different. It's unbelievable. We don't even think white. People get really pissed if you call them white because they're like, wait, what? I'm just, normal. That's how deep it is. That's deep. But so whenever you say yours, I'm like, don't call them mine, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think a lot of things, absolutely. I've been just going crazy thinking about, we are actually doing horribly. We are allowing thousands and thousands of people to die. Is that kind of what you mean? Like the fact that we have for-profit healthcare is an abomination. That's disgusting. That's just fucked up. I'm sorry, people. That is just terrible. But I'm not 100% sure specifically what you were asking, but I don't know what's going on right now. But this nation better pull its shit together because it's not good. Leadership equals zero. So I personally, for this COVID virus thing, I'm not leaving my house. Not a chance in hell. I don't believe one word. I'm taking some vaccine that they've like barely tested over my dead body, which, haha, it might be, but no way. I know what this government is capable of, what they've done to Black folks, testing their little, and on the military and on, on vets, on other, people of color and African Americans. No way. I don't trust. I'll say, Trump, you take it first. Let me watch you, and not a chance in hell. I have zero trust. And I mean, I read the history of some of the stuff we've done. We got lucky a couple times and spewed out some vaccines that ended up being okay. But no way am I going to, let's all go out. And I know that is a privileged place. I am not a frontline worker. I work at home, but I have people in my family who are immunosuppressed. If they get this, very likely they will die. And I don't say that lightly. So this is very, very serious. The person I have in my house has almost died 3 times from the flu, just the flu. They get a flu shot. They're out and about. This will do them in. And so it's a really scary place. And I know a lot of people are in the same place. So I don't trust equals 0. Yes, we should be supporting. God, absolutely. Let me see here. Tony, if you're still here, hello, and thank you for being here. Thrilled to have you. Mr. FS Black. Oh, I hope you're still here too. Cool. Tell me what you think tonight. Global Entertainment TV. Americans should learn to live in peace or it will destroy itself, period. Absolutely. You should come on here. You're much more concise than I am. Yeah. Why not? Live in peace. Wow. Imagine that. It's like, why do we have this need to be absolutely evil? Like we have such limited resources. In the United States, we have enough money. You know we do, to pay reparations. We have enough money to stop people who don't have homes from laying in the streets. And we have enough money for universal health care. We just don't want it. They aren't our values. And that's why I say the answer to your question is our values suck. And I don't think we suck necessarily, although a lot of people do, but we're greedy, we're materialistic, and we basically have a government, a central government, federal government that picks humans last. If you're wealthy and white, you might get lucky. I call that crappy values. Just saying. Okay. But peace, yes, that is good. Nails and glitter. I switched from Dingus, LOL. By the way, you can be pro-gun and not know any Republicans. Oh, absolutely. I have friends who are total like independents, Democrats, and they're pro-gun. I know a few, but again, education putting a face on Black people changes minds. Nails and glitter, I'm thrilled that you do that. I don't know. Maybe I've done it before, but it's really tough. Hugo, greetings. Hello. Thank you for being here. Anastasia, nails and glitter. They're not informed. I believe they are not informed. I believe they're very informed and still chose him because Dems don't know how to win. Yeah, I don't know. Global Entertainment, nails and glitter. Most people of the world who think people with guns are crazy patriots. Are they? You are into the questions tonight. I like it. Anastasia, babe, they have a grasp, but they are still not willing to give up their power, at least stand up. Yeah, I've noticed that more and more, that it's like, but it's a false power. That's what kills me. It's come on. White people know they're not superior. Give me a break. Like I always say, if the best thing you ever did was get born white, that's pathetic. I mean, you didn't get born white. You didn't have anything to do with it. No offense, but you didn't. So it's like, I don't get, but I guess the whole thing ties back into like the lies, living a lie. People seem to like living a lie. I guess it's just, I don't know, but the whole living a lie thing drives me nuts. It's like, give me a break. I don't believe them. White people who think they're really superior. It's a joke to me. I think it's hilarious. It's pathetic. I don't believe them. I think they're full of shit. Just my take. But anyway, thank you for that comment, Anastasia. You're awesome. Nails and glitter think so too. There are 2 kinds of gun owners, the crazies you speak of and Second Amendment supporters. The second group isn't like the first at all. Global Entertainment. Are all the gun patriots in America racists or bigots? All's a lot of people. RGF Town 1, hello. Thank you for being here. Hang out and tell us what you think. If you have time, I would love to have you jump in. Okay, of course, I lost my spot. Whenever we say all, is a damn lot of people. But sometimes if something's like a sliding scale, maybe it's true. Let me see. Let me back it Back it up, back it up. Let me see. Oh my goodness. A lot of people commenting. I appreciate it. Okay. The Second Amendment guys are not, they support minorities having the ability to protect themselves. Yeah, I think, it's kind of an interesting thing. Nails and Glitter's been helping me a lot with the gun thing. I'm not so really, part of my problem is a lot of people get mad because I'm not really extremist on some of my stuff. Some of it, oh God, absolutely. Like, I don't agree to disagree with somebody who's talking about my fellow humans, human rights and civil rights. No, I don't agree to disagree. There's no argument. Like I say, what am I going to say? You're an asshole. I win the argument. There's no debate. There's no, you're an inhuman person. I mean, what are you going to say? But some things, there is a debate, and I'm really not that extreme. I'm kind of, you'd be surprised. And that makes people mad because extremes are something it's like so much easier to deal with an extreme for some reason, because the gray areas just kill us. It's probably just human nature, but we don't like gray areas. Okay. RGF Town 1. Do you believe in a higher power? If you're talking to me personally, here's what I believe. It would be arrogant, really arrogant and ignorant for me to believe that people are the end all and we just kind of got here because whatever. I'm one of those people who I just don't know. I am not an atheist. I'm agnostic. But I figure there's probably something, because I don't think we're the beginning, the end, whatever. People. We're people. So yeah, I'd say there's got to be something. But do I have a strong faith? Not a chance. I was raised with science, and so it really, really is tough for me to believe in something. But I think it would be arrogant to think otherwise. For me, not for you, but for me. I think that would be arrogant of me to think, oh, there's no higher power. We're it, So I hope that answers your question. I love that you're asking questions, though. Global entertainment. It seems that most or all Caucasians have all the guns in America and all the blacks don't. Why? That is interesting. I don't know if you're asking me or Nails and Glitter. Obviously, it's more obvious than like ever, at least in this generation, because they're treated differently. Police aren't trained, and there's so much racism and so much horrific discrimination and horrible things that I think a lot of black folks probably are scared to get a gun. But sadly, they might be the ones who need them the most because of how crazed racism has now, I know it's always been this way. However, 2020, tell me you expected that it would be still getting worse and worse and worse. And it is getting worse and worse and worse in 2020. I didn't. And I, kind of went to school for this, and I kind of, tried to learn it. I never thought that, oh, this stuff never happened. No, I knew this. Oh my God. I worked in Compton for years. I worked in Compton, California during the LA riots. It's crazy. It's horrible. What they do to these people and what we do to these people who don't deserve it, who are great humans and don't deserve it. But I never thought it would get this overt with the proud racism and I don't know. It's fun living in my little white bubble. I never thought it would turn like this. And a lot of people kind of think that too. I thought we were always be slightly heading in the right direction. Now I'm like, whoa, we're being taken back and people are thrilled. When I work with white folks, I cannot explain enough how whatever I take whatever you think is happening with regards to racism in America, multiply it by a gazillion, and you might be getting close. The depths of white people in this country and how racist we are, it's just unbelievable. It's truly mind-boggling. So for new white folks who are learning, it's shocking, but it has to be done. Yeah, I don't know about the guns thing. I mean, all I know is that obviously we have a huge discrepancy between how white folks are treated and how Black people are treated, and it's absolutely disgusting. And that is part of our topics for tonight. A lot of it. Melanated misfit. The NRA doesn't even support Kenneth Walker. That goes to show that they're an offset of the. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I actually wrote a note to a Black NRA, I guess you could say, although I don't want to use that word, that term. And I wrote to them to try to get a speaker, but they didn't write me back. But I'll keep trying. But I'd love to know about that as well. I'm Black and I own. I'm biased. LOL. Haha. No, I missed it. They didn't support Philando Castile either, and he was illegal. Yeah, I mean, they are. If you're talking about the NRA, they care about money and it's horrible. MLK was a Republican. I'm kind of talking about the Republicans now, because remember, in the day, there were some humanistic Republicans. I have Republicans in my family, but I'm sorry. Now, if you support that man, I'm just being real. In my opinion, you are pretty much, you can't see. Here's the thing. You might say, I'm not racist. Oh, no. But it wasn't a deal breaker for you, was it? So that's the way I look at it. And you got to have some sort of values. I mean, my God, these are our fellow humans. It's just, sorry, just my take. I know a lot of people won't agree, but if you support the Republicans right now and what they're doing, you are inhumane. And that is all I have to say. And yes, I've said that so many times. And yes, I've lost many friends over it. And that is my truth. It's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's not even a close call. It's important to me. Sorry, I'm blabbing. Okay, let this get. Guns aren't. Global guns seem to be the backbone of America. Yeah, we do love our guns in this sick way. We love them more than we love our humans, which makes me really disgusted. Melanie missed it. The one thing about whites, if they aren't afraid to fight or kill for their rights, Blacks are too busy praying and protesting. Yeah, I think a lot of us have forgotten what people before us went through. We've forgotten. And when we forget, we take our rights for granted. And I think a lot of people need some schooling. White folks are under the impression that racism is good for them. That's laughable. Racism is horrible for most white folks. We just are too damn ignorant to get it. Too damn ignorant. We're being played. I mean, played the fool at the expense of Black people. And other people who are not white as well. But we are being played by the wealthiest elite. It's a joke, and it works great. It's disgusting. If only we would catch on and get educated. It's just, let me see here. Sorry, I'm backed up again. Nails and glitter. Guns aren't as important as you might think. Really, we live in a military state, right? I mean, people, do you think, this is the thing, and I have a weird perspective on this, and you can tell me what you think, if you think it's just crazy. But seriously, do you think your guns are going to work against the government? No, they're going to turn your power off, and you will get hungry and thirsty, and you will not have they'll just doop. That's it. And you will do whatever the hell they say. They have nuclear weapons. Guns are, a lot of people use guns as a and I'm not saying nails and glitter does this. This is different. A lot of white folks, I think, enjoy, like we enjoy many false things, the false security of thinking that a gun in the house is going to be good for them when all stats for white folks lead to the contrary. It is much more likely someone in your house will use that gun to kill you or kill themselves. And that's just a stat. And that's just a fact. But we enjoy feeling like we're secure. We don't really want to be secure, clearly, but we like the idea and the feeling. Just like racism, we enjoy feeling superior. The fact that we're not is inconsequential. we got some issues, really big issues, and there's a pattern. It's all about the feel, not really about the truth. And that bothers me. Damn, I'm on like blabbing tonight. Sorry, you guys. Let me see here. Melanated misfit. The one thing about whites is they aren't afraid to fight or kill for their rights. Blacks are so I read that already. I'm glad I reread that. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that we've really ever had to stand up for our rights. We talk about it overseas, like, oh, we killed, yeah. But here in America, yeah, it's easy for us to other everybody and say, oh, they're the enemy. We'll go over to their place and kill them. It's all for money making anyway. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. Tell me more. I want to know what you think. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Of course, I'm like skipping all over the place here. Let me. Tony, most white people look at themselves as the default human. Absolutely. And that's a really tough paradigm to change and break without some pain. Some pain comes with it. And a lot of white folks just run screaming because it's painful to like realize like, no, we're actually all humans and you're just an asshole, or whatever. I mean, it's painful. And people don't want pain. We want happy. We don't want pain. And I don't want pain either. But apparently for me personally, it's more painful. The lies are more painful than the truth, I guess. I don't know why. Just how I came out, I guess. And I think you can get to be this way if you stop making it about you. If you're white, you can't make this about you. You just can't. Or you won't be able to handle it. It's too devastating. It's not about us. It's about our fellow humans. And it's about us in and of, we act human. We can be scared, but because we're human, we get something called critical thinking skills. And we can say, I'm really scared. I want to punch that person's lights out. I'm scared of them. I want to run. I want to do something bad to them. But guess what? That's freaking irrational. So I'm not going to. I'm going to think. That's not right. I know it's not right. I can fight we're not animals in that it's all instinct and we're just working on emotion and we can think. So let's freaking think. Let's use it, white folks. Let's use what we got. That's all my point is. But yeah, Tony, you are absolutely right. And let me see here. Global Entertainment, Misfit, you're absolutely right. But blacks seem to have the power of the church. They're more than guns about them. And again, that's a whole nother issue. I mean, how did many black people get that idea from our collective white ancestors forced it on them? A lot of people, and it's just, it's crazy. Melanated misfit. Without guns, whites would lose. They can't beat hand-to-hand black males in hand-to-hand combat. Yeah, I mean, they would run probably. I don't know. It's a whole ego thing. I mean, there's so much to this. I mean, I'm like way into the sociology of it, but I mean, there's so much to it. It's become a self-perpetuating system. It's just too crazy. Great conversation though. You guys are awesome. Get TV church isn't power, it's slavery. Tell me more. I don't really know what that is, actually. I kind of do, but I don't really. Global entertainment. Melanie said, I don't get that most people around the world are in slavery. Most people around the world are religious, are not bigots, racists, or crazy patriots like they are in America. Yeah, we definitely have a special little culture going on here. I have to say. I haven't traveled the world too much, but I definitely think we got this like a shtick going on. Like it's kind of like, yay us. And that's a lovely thing if you live up to it. But we need to live up to it. And we're not. To say we're not is like God, total, complete understatement. Let me see here. Ronald, yay! I hope you're here still. I'm just blabbing away. We're having quite a conversation tonight. Let me see. Okay, I got to back this up. Wow. Okay. I love that people are talking. Of course, it scrolls right by me. Okay, I'm finally caught up. I apologize. Global entertainment, Melanie Misfit. I mean to say, not in slavery. Most people of the world are still religious. Sorry about that type of. Mr. F.S. Black. Hey, Kim. Since you're in New York, I was wondering if you've heard anything about the Attorney General, Alita James, and her investigation on unequal social distance enforcement. No, I haven't. I have seen stuff on it, but I don't know enough to talk about it. But I will, duly noted, I will find out. I am not in New York City. I'm about 4 hours away. So not that means, so I can't read. No, just kidding. That means I can't read anything about it. No, but yeah, if that's what you were referencing, good question. If you know something, bring it on. I want to know. But no, I heard and seen, and it's, yeah, not good. But great question. Melody Misfit. Get TV. Not totally sure what you mean, but religion definitely keeps people from rising up against government tyranny. Without it, many governments would be overthrown by now. People fear their God. Yeah, good point. Nails and glitter. I think the piece you might be missing is almost all white people in America practice racism, but they don't really know that's what they're doing. And I'm not sure you're talking to me, but yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like we're very, very, we all practice it. We're unaware of it. It's like, it's kind of a lifestyle, actually. Kind of a lifestyle. I think that might be what you're saying. Gigi, hello. If you're here, if you're here still, welcome. Nails and glitter. They can't be conscious of what they're doing because they have to live with themselves. Yeah. Absolutely. See, it's a really strange, like personal, psychological, lots to it. Even a higher power exists. Even if a higher power exists, it's terribly apathetic. Yeah. Gary, once Trump was elected, I knew it would get worse. He campaigned on a sort of bigotry, white supremacy, and hate. I'm surprised it isn't worse. You know what's funny is, not funny, what's pathetic, but when you say like that, before he got elected, my biggest spiel, I made 5 or 6 videos. I was just starting to make videos. I made videos saying a man is running his entire campaign on taking away the civil and human rights of our fellow humans. And we're all kind of okay with it. I mean, not us, but white folks seem to be okay with it. And that's absolutely unconscionable, disgusting, and pathetic. And I must have made 5, like, what the hell's wrong with us? What? Like, he's running a campaign on being proud of taking away our fellow humans' rights. How exactly moronic are we? Do we not get that we're next? It's like, oh my God. So that, yes, you hit a nerve, Gary. And hi, sorry it took me so long. Ronald, I am thrilled you're here, and we need to have a phone call because I haven't talked to you. All right. I'm just happy you're here. Nails and glitter. That's what I'm seeing. Republicans that can't stay with this party and they don't know where they belong. Okay, fair enough. Gary, there's a big difference between a Republican and our current Trump publics. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Dan, so true about the guns in the house. Yeah, it's such false security. Oh my goodness. Just like no offense to anybody, but the police at schools. Yeah, every day, you hear on the news, those police at schools are stopping shooters. No, you actually don't. But you do hear every day what they're doing to little children who are brown and black. Sorry, that's just like a touchy subject. I just got myself completely triggered. Okay, yeah. They're making normal child behavior criminalized. So we can stuff our for-profit prisons with people. It's so messed up. Thank you, Dan. Now, Sinclair, I also know a Democrat that's leaving the party because of the hypocrisy behind this Tara Reade BS. As a longtime independent voter, I'm happy to point out the racism in both parties. I know you are. Yeah, and I've been an independent a really, really long time. In fact, I have a secret to tell you. When I was little, I was so out of it. I didn't know you had to pick a party. I was like, I'm not picking a party. No. I'm not, no way. So I became independent, obviously, right away. But it's because I couldn't believe somebody's going to make me pick a party. And I had a really hard time in school, too. So that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I couldn't believe they were making you pick a party. It's like, no, I want to think for myself and go with what's right, not a party. So anyway, just a little about me. Yeah, that's interesting. Melanie Misfit. Well, maybe not their rights, but they'll kill for what they believe in, no matter how. There we go. That is. In fact, I did a little talk, kind of like a blog, I guess, with a friend of mine, who I'm going to try to do a weekly. He's really, really good. He graduated. He's a white guy. He graduated in his undergrad in Africana Studies. And recently enough that he really is on top of, oh my God, he's good. I'm loving it. And it's more like an interview than but it's fine. I put out one thing on him, and that's exactly what he addresses. You got to check it out. He addresses that white people historically, we will get what we want through tantrum and through violence. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I think you'll love his, podcast talk. The beginning, he talks like pretty much the entire time. And it's like, he just talks about our history of getting what we want through tantrum, with guns, with whatever it takes. We won't be denied. And that's pretty crazy. Okay. So Melody Misfit, I know that's exactly. Ghost Killa, peace. Gotta go. Bye, Ghost Killa. You might be gone already. Mr. Evans Black, Melanated Misfit. It's true that many whites will take up arms and fight if they feel their rights are being violated. Just look at the armed protesters, while black people can't even protest peacefully. I'm confused because I found that to be kind of the opposite. But maybe explain more, because I felt like those white folks were verging on being violent. I mean, they knew they could get away with it because, yay, we have guns, we're white. Okay. But one of the things I posted was the comparison to, long ago and now. If those were black folks doing that, they'd be taken down and arrested. I mean, it's just, I think white folks can just get away with it is all. They just get away with it. I mean, I'm disgusted by the disrespect in the protests. And, suddenly blue lives don't matter too much anymore, do they? What a crock of what that was. They're in their faces. I mean, so rude. They want the right to be able to get really sick and die. And here's the thing. They're protesting the wrong people. Their governors are doing their job. Okay. The inequality in this country. Do you guys realize that other countries are doing incredibly well with COVID? They're getting tons and tons of money. Their government's backing them up. They're getting tested. In Australia, one of my person who was an admin, she wrote to me and she said, oh yeah, we have an app that helps track anywhere you've been, And if you've been near anybody that's sick, we can have tests whenever. I mean, basically, the opposite of what we're doing here. Our nation is wealthy enough to help everybody. We just don't want to. It's not part of our values. And that is disgusting. So yeah, it's kind of, I'm not disagreeing with people. I don't know what's going on. Tyler, hello. Thank you for being here. If you're still here, welcome to the show. Jump right in. Don't be shy. I think I skipped people. Oops, don't hate me. No, oh, I didn't. Dang. Did I get to the bottom? Okay, I think I did. Global entertainment. The American Democratic or Republican Party partisanship is so out of control in America, I don't know how it keeps itself going anymore. What do you think? Agreed. We've forgotten that we're supposed to be Americans. And I'll tell you, if there's a Democrat in office, I will be the first to say, naughty, naughty, bad. I don't have, well, I'm independent, so I'm not really a Democrat, but I like to keep things real, and I do. I know what the Republicans are doing, okay? And I'll tell you, and this is just my opinion, they want the good old days to be back. Trump was not elected despite his racism. He was elected because of it. And I truly believe that. This nation has never dealt with our horrific, vile, systemic racism and evil, evil history. We've never faced it. We've never fessed up. We've never faced it. We've never educated our citizens, and that is absolutely on purpose. So we got some sick shit going on here, and it's all interconnected. Uh-oh, now I got people talking again. Let me see here. I just think we really have, our morals are screwed up. Global entertainment. A lot of Americans and people in the government seem to have this selfishness about them instead of helping their fellow humans in the world, don't you think? Yes, I think. And I guess it's just part of our culture. And it's a really bad part of our culture. We are so egocentric and I guess you could say ethnocentric, but then no, it's really just being white. So that's not really, it's like white centric. We can't see past our own. I mean, when I see people who are homeless, I think, let's get them some homes. We can afford that. What the hell? Give me a break. It's not our values. We look at people who are homeless as people who, they're just not trying hard enough. It's sick shit. We have some sick values. It doesn't have to be this way. But that's how it is. I'm disgusted. Honestly, the values in this country do not match mine. I don't know if they ever have, to be honest. But as a young person, I'm so indoctrinated that I just kind of go with it. Yeah, everyone says America's great. I'm like, wait a second. We can talk about it, but we're really not living up to those standards. So I'm appalled that we have this great potential, that we're just, whatever. We're wasting. It's like a waste of potential. So yes, I think that. Yes. Nielsen Gutter. South Korea is screening and tracing it to the point they've detected reactivations and nobody infects anyone else. Other countries, South Korea is like, I'm bowing down to them. They got their shit together. Everyone knows we got the first signs the same day. They went after it and made sure to protect their people, and they probably saved thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. And we did the opposite. And we are going to lose tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. Because as we speak right now, we are still months into this, not even doing remotely what they've been doing. And I wrote something up about how, does everybody know that the White House gets testing every single day? and they do tracing too. Why do they get this? But it's not good enough for the general public. Anyone want to venture a guess for that? I mean, that is absolutely elitist bullshit. They get it every single day, testing every day and tracing back. But we don't, because they can't afford it. My ass, they can't afford it. They can absolutely afford it. It's purposeful. Gary, Americans would never accept that app. Government tracking you is a no-no. Yeah, I don't know how it works. But in Australia, for some reason, she said that it's really, really doing great, gives people peace of mind. It really, really helps. I don't know if it tracks them or their status. So I can't really answer to that. But yeah, who cares if it kills 1,000 people? We don't want to be, yeah, absolutely. Although, the funniest thing is, what do you think this thing is? Think people don't know where you are, what you're doing? Hello? It's like we already have a tracker, a chip. It's called our freaking cell phone. Let me see. Melanie Misfit. China is back on lockdown, 100 million people to be exact. They said second surge of COVID has arisen. Yeah. Melanie Misfit, I work for a company in China. And yes, and they are militant. You want militant. They'll have a drone zoop right up to you. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it was kind of cool to watch, I'm just saying, but because it wasn't me, but it was like, dang, you don't put your mask on and you will have a drone hovering you going, you put your mask on. In Chinese, it's like, oh my God. Gary, let me see. Yes, I read that. Okay, thank you. Yay. Now I'm talking to myself. Yeah, it's good. Mr. SF Black. Hey, yes, Kim, white people are allowed to get away with these ridiculous protests during a pandemic. Worse than that, there aren't. Black people can't even march without the National Guard being called. I know it is the epitome of hypocrisy. If that's even it's just no comment. Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. That it cannot be said enough. Thank you. Nails and glitter. It's reactivating in people who had it already. Check the story on the Roosevelt sailors that are sick again. Yeah, I did not see that. But Mr. FS Black. But you can bet your bottom dollar that entitled white supremacists feel like they're being oppressed. Oh, that's one of my topics tonight. They won't hesitate to pick up a gun. Oh, absolutely. That is one of my topics tonight. I'm glad we're having such great conversation. Everyone is just wonderful. It's extremely important. I wanted to just jump in. I'm now on, oh my gosh, Instagram. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue. So if you're on Instagram, say hi to me. I don't know what I'm doing, but Dan's going to teach me. News to know. I'm going to just race through some news to know. Because it's their country. They stole it fair and square. Right? Totally. That's, oh my God, you're hilarious. And you're hilarious because you're true. And Dan, I know nothing, but he is just mentoring me, teaching me. Wonderful. My wonderful new friend. I'm thrilled because everybody can see I need help. Global entertainment. About this pandemic, from what we've heard in the past as sort of conspiracy theory, this pandemic is here to depopulate the world, reduce the population of nations around the world. Yeah, here's my thing. I've heard that too, and there's so many conspiracy theories going around. And I even talked to a conspiracy. Oh, thank you, Dan. Yes, that's my thing on Israel. Looked up and saw some speeches from a person at Stanford who does conspiracy theory work. Okay, let me reword that. Studies conspiracy theories and follows them. It's kind of interesting. It is natural and normal for much of that to come up. Be aware. There's always a little truth or sometimes a lot. And it's really, really tough because right now we have the fake news going on, people purposely doing it. So it's really confusing to figure out what's real, what's not. I just try to stick to science. And from what I hear from every doctor, this was something that makes sense that it happened. It was not created in a lab. It was, just all this stuff. But there's always a little truth. It's mostly people confusing things that go together that don't go together. But I read every conspiracy theory because you know what? Never say never. We are in America. And the transparency is not our forte. For quick news, thanks, Dan, for that. And great point, though. There's so much conspiracy stuff going around. I did a quick news section. Magic Johnson just provided $100 million in aid to Black small businesses, which I thought was totally cool. Tennessee man posted photos of Obama in a noose and he lost his job. As it should be. It might not be illegal, but you know what? It's immoral and sorry, bye-bye. You'd think people would catch on to that. President Trump said he's currently taking hydrochloroquine, the anti-malaria drug he's promoted as a treatment to combat the coronavirus infection, despite there being no data saying that it helps, and lots of data saying that it doesn't, and that it could kill you. And you know what? No comment. Question, do you believe him? He'll probably say he's joking tomorrow. That's how he gets out of these things. Or he'll probably say he never said it. This is the reality of insanity we're living in. Georgia and Florida have been accused of, and it's been confirmed, they are purposefully messing with the COVID-19 numbers. Their data is incorrect. Garrick, hello, welcome. I'm psyched you made it here. So Georgia and Florida. What Georgia did, among other things, was they're backdating all their cases. So the last 2 weeks of Georgia will always look like it's on a downward, a downward pivot. So it's really just, can't believe anybody. Our American outbreak was totally avoidable. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yep, absolutely avoidable. If we had done what South Korea did, immediate testing, immediate tracing, thousands and thousands of people would be alive today. And it's like surreal to me. Yep, surreal to me. My topics for tonight, which I probably won't get to a lot of them, but that's okay. We had a lot of good conversation, and I'm thrilled. Comparing social distancing to slavery. Yeah. Sam Club's assault. It happened. Darquan Jones attack. A lot of racist, psycho shit's going on. For lack of a better way to put it, not very professional, but it's true. Some strange details have emerged in the Ahmaud Arbery case. I mean, so many that it's poof. And my last thing was an opinion piece that I really liked. A Black woman who's a professor at Berkeley, wrote a piece called What Black People Know About Quarantine, an opinion piece. And I thought it was excellent. So I'm going to do a quick rant, make it very quick, talk very fast. And no, I'm not. I'm going to nail some glitter. It's not just about America. This pandemic by nature is happening all over around the world. People should realize that. Yeah, it's just a really hard thing to fathom, the whole thing. Garrick, COVID-19 outbreak was 100% avoidable as Trump defunded President Obama's CDC program, absolutely, overseas, and many, many nations overseas that he destroyed and ignored multiple warnings. He was even outbriefed on outbreaks, but by the prior, absolutely. Plus, right, the prior administration, and we've talked about that continuously in our shows. Bill Gates met with him personally twice. The administration, of the Obama administration, walked him through everything, told him what was going on. There is no excuse. The man is absolutely worthlessly incompetent. And I consider him a murderer, and I do not say that lightly. Starting with the 7 children that he allowed to die in custody after he took them from their loving parents' arms. Because he decided to change the rules and make it a felony to cross the border if you're not, and then seek asylum. He changed the rules so that he would have the right to make it a felony so he could take away their babies. And some of them he killed. And that's absolutely disgusting. See, whenever I get crazy. Oh my God, you're hilarious. Melanie missed it. Hopefully he washed it down with some Lysol. Yeah, I don't even believe him. He's full of crap. He didn't. Nails and glitter. I understand that I'm simply stating that America has had the resources to not be the leader in, to be the leader in infected and dead. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Right. 100% agree. We might not be the number one, but for the love of God, we are number one now in the bad way. We're absolutely, he likes to be number one. He likes to win. He is unbelievable. He is unbelievable. Nails and glitter. America is 5% of the world's population and leading death. Right. 4 to 5% and 30% of all the deaths. We're winning. If this is winning, I want out. All right. I'm going to do my quick rant. And you're going to laugh what my rant's about, because it's about those people who do really, really, really overtly racist things. And they're so innocent and they're so sorry. And I don't believe a word they say. And this is going to be one of my most extreme rants, in that I am done with this rant. I'm sorry. Hopefully I will not lose too many people through this. But I am, don't get me wrong, I'm all for forgiveness, but some things are unforgivable. You have to show that you care. Talk's cheap, really cheap. So my rant topic tonight is exactly how obnoxious I think it is when people make public apologies for racial slurs and overtly racist things that they just, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I believe in forgiving, don't get me wrong, but I believe that people need to show how sorry they are, not talk about it. They need to show it in behavior, not words. So please listen to this rant in the spirit which it was meant. Yes, I believe in forgiving people, but talk's cheap. Give me a break. It drives me nuts when political, famous people, or just any white person feels exonerated by doing a public apology after they've done something obnoxious, like a racial slur or something just overtly racist. They feel like, well, I just need to apologize. You know what? No, you don't just need to apologize. Sorry, because maybe their temper got the best of them, or, maybe some other excuse they'll think of. No. Please understand, I'm not talking about people who are learning and dedicated to trying to understand and become culturally competent in America. I'm not talking about a mistake by someone who's trying. No. If you're white and you're educating yourself, then that's awesome. And you are absolutely going to make mistakes. And you are going to have, I call it the fallout of our collective ignorance. You're going to make mistakes, and it's going to be ugly. That is not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who say something, obviously, that they would probably say at home all the time. And their little, they're basically in public and they got caught. And they say, sorry. And then it just moves on. And I am so sick of this. Let me explain why this makes me nuts. Okay. And I don't know if I explained this very well, but I'll try anyway. Maybe I'll lose the whole audience, but I know it's getting late. The difficulty I have with apologizing after using a racial slur is that by definition, the apology is totally disingenuous. The person can act like they're sorry, but when someone uses language in their everyday speaking, this language has a direct connection to how they think, which connects to how they feel. Can a person honestly really apologize for their own cognitive reality? Sorry, gonna say no. What they're really saying is, I'm sorry I got caught. What they're really saying is, I'm sorry I'm getting so much shit for saying something really nasty. Or maybe it's that they're sorry they weren't in private when they said it, or that it got on film. As a white person, here's my own personal take, okay? And it is very privileged. So I admit that. Maybe I'm just lucky or something. But for me, using a racial slur has never crossed my mind, not once ever in my entire life. Surprise! First of all, because that's not how I think of my fellow humans. Maybe my parents did something good. I don't know. I've never heard them use a racial slur. I've never heard my grandparents. I've never heard anybody actually in real life ever use a racial slur. I've heard them say racist things, but not a racial slur. Don't ask me how or why. I've been in my own little bubble. I have no friends. Okay. But see, the word's just not in my vernacular. I wasn't raised with it. As I said, in real life, never heard any family members ever say anything bad about a Black person. Never, not once. I'm sure I could come up with some words that I was pretty upset, if I was really, really upset with a Black person, which I've been before, but going there wouldn't cross my mind. Okay, let me explain. If I was upset at somebody, I'd call them a jerk or say they were rude, but all of a sudden going to their activated melanin in their body, what the fuck? What does that have to do with what they did to me? Nothing. Why would I suddenly spew out discussing racial epithets to call someone a name? I don't get it. Is it because I'm such a wonderful person and just little Miss White perfect girl, woman? No, not even. Is it because I've trained myself to control myself and never utter a word like that in public? No. I say anything I want in public. Is it because it would hurt their feelings? And of course it would hurt people's feelings. No. It's simply because it doesn't dawn upon me to go there. Yeah, if somebody killed my child and they were Black, I would not use a racial. I just wouldn't. It's not in my vernacular. I guess what my point is, you cannot apologize for who you are, okay? And all these people are constantly, at least once a month, saying, I'm so sorry for doing these overtly racist. No, do not talk about how sorry you are. Show how sorry you are. For good or for bad, speech is an indication of not only what the person wants to say, but of how they think. It's directly related to how and who the person is. I don't know about you, but I'm not satisfied living in a world where our society just doesn't say anything bad like that in public. We just do it in private. I'd like to live in a society where white folks don't even think it. It's not even on their register. I think people who do this, I think people who do this and then backtrack, like Trump is constantly saying horrific racist things. For example, they're actually saying exactly what they think. They just forget they're in public or something like that, I'm guessing. And that's that. They feel the truth to them is that some groups are less important than others, and that they accidentally verbalize this feeling out loud. That's what they're sorry for. When you use a racial slur, sure, you can apologize, for making someone feel bad. But don't for 1 minute think that this makes things right or exonerates you. The only way, in my privileged opinion, you can say sorry and really be sorry is to learn cultural competency and show it in your behavior over time. Sorry doesn't cut it. If you're sorry, you show you're sorry by educating the hell out of yourself and making sure you never make a mistake again like that. And making sure you change your entire shift to a whole nother paradigm. So instead of just making sure you don't say a racial slur or do something racial on camera for the world to see, start with your own mind and make sure this is how you think. And you'll never, ever have to worry about letting anything slip again. Okay, that's my rant and I'm done. Let me see here. Oh, I got some people talking here. Yes, somebody article really pissed me off, and that's why I wrote that. Okay, let me see. I know it's getting late, everybody. Global Entertainment TV, Nails and Glitter, but we get your point. It was unavoidable in America. Something Nacho president didn't do anything way back in the early part of the year when he was told that it was coming. It's a shame. Yeah, he's just, well, he's protected, so who cares about everyone else? I don't really think he thinks he's the president. I think he just thinks he's like a king that sits on a throne. But yeah, great point. He did nothing. America is 5% of the world's population and leading in death. I already read that, sorry. Melanie Misfit, they showed Texans flooding the mall. Yes, I saw that. Unbelievable. Garrett, his own resentment towards President Obama has ruined this country. Yeah, he's like on this like crazy rampage. Yes, there was a black man in the White House. Deal with the pain, because he is so freaking racist. It just, and you know what? It couldn't have been a better person to make him nuts, because a lot of people looked upon President Obama as a really nice guy. And I know everyone doesn't agree with everything he did and wishes he could have done this and that and the other, but I think a lot of people agree that he was a nice man. He wasn't a bad man. He didn't, like Trump is a bad man. I mean, he's truly evil. And I always looked at Obama as like a really nice guy. I've never seen a president I want to be friends with. I'd absolutely want to be friends with him. He just seems like a really nice person. And that matters to me. But yeah, he has good point. His jealousy and his, oh my God, it's totally out of control. President Obama's worst day were better than any of Trump's best. Good point. Thank you, Garrick. Well put. Melody Misfit, apologizing for racism is insulting and vomit-inducing. Yeah, thank you. It's like, suck it up and educate yourself and don't ever do it again. And, it's like, don't talk about how sorry you are. You're just sorry you got caught. I have come full circle with that. I'm so sick of that. And yeah, I'm in a privileged place in saying it, but I'm still saying it. You know me. If you're decent, you don't need to say things like, right, yeah. The fake ass apologies are a declaration of lack of character. Very well put, Nielsen. I'm going to steal that from you. Seriously. Melanie Misfit, I'm sorry. Hatred can't be untaught. Hatred maybe can't, but racism, I think, can. Personally, and I totally respect what you're saying, but only because I've seen it. I used to have these people in my groups. Oh my God, they'd come in. They were barely qualified to be in the group because they were almost too far gone. I mean, I don't do miracles, And I had people raised by KKK, and they came full freaking circle. And it took years, like 3 years. But I've seen it. I swear I've seen it. And like Jane Elliott says, if you can teach people to be discriminating racists, you can unteach it. It's definitely taught. So as a teacher, of course, I think I can teach somebody anything, but yeah, maybe like 10 years later. But yeah, I respect what you're saying. I'll respectfully disagree. But maybe we're thinking of different things, because racism is fear, which has led to that. I mean, I don't know. Very philosophical, but I get what you're saying. Blue lives versus black lives. Race usually comes first. I was just appalled by how hypocritical they were with that. Nelson Golder, yeah, not so into blue lives anymore, huh? Global Entertainment TV. Melody Misfit, we think it can be untaught if it wasn't programmed in white people's children and handed down like inheritance kids in school and aren't bigoted or racist. Yeah, it's just a lot to it. Sociology is complex. The kids aren't, but a lot of teachers do teach racism. Oh, God, yes. Oh, I could tell you stories. Oh, my gosh. Teachers. You don't want to know. Let me see here. So, where am I? The last thing I did was my rant. And now, okay. Did you guys see the person who compared social distancing to slavery and put up a picture? It was in California. Some protesters drew lots of outrage this week because they were photographed protesting, holding signs that compared social distancing guidelines to slavery. Oh my God, throw up. Okay, that's really screwed. Demonstrators convened in the Humboldt County, which is actually near where I went to school for undergrad, courthouse in rural Northern California on May 16th to protest the COVID-19 policies. 2 different women held up pictures of slaves, a slave person being tortured with a muzzle in their mouth, in their face. It's sick as shit. And one of them apologized. Yes, that was the one. One of them apologized. But again, any white person who knew even a little bit about systemic racism and our real racial history would have never touched a disgusting sign like that in a million years. And yes, I am being hard on people, but you know what? Sorry. We have Trump. He's brought it all out into the open, and there's no excuse. It is her privilege of being white that has allowed her to go through life without even thinking about the impact her behavior has on others. What do you think? Did you guys see that? Tell me what you think. I want to know. Global entertainment. Nails and glitter. That's a shame. It is to teach children to learn and grow and to be happy with one another. If that's going on, we would rather homeschool our children. Yes. Some of that does go on. I've also seen really, really cool things going on too. So it just depends. But yeah, it's really, really tough. And it's people used to ask me, is that a good school? Your school is as good as the teacher and the teachers your child has surrounding them that year. And that's, as an educator, that is the truth. There are no good schools. There are pretty good schools, but your child's education, social, emotional welfare is as good as the person who is their main caretaker that year. Some teachers, I've had amazing teachers for my kids, and school's supposed to be a good school, and I've had absolutely ludicrous ones. And when it comes to race, our teachers are not taught how to deal with their own implicit bias. And I could tell you stories about one of my kids. Oh my goodness. Stuff that you think, what year is it? What year is it, really? So it's kind of crazy. Nails and glitter, homeschooling our Black children. I absolutely support anybody who feels like they want to do that. It's the teachers aren't educated in cultural competency, so they are culturally incompetent, and they have your child for 6+ hours a day. You do the math. It's not good. That's just my opinion. I know there are good places, but there's more bad ones. God, I want to tell my stories, but I'm not going to. Let me see. Let me just do. Oh, this is another quick one. The Iowa attack. Did you guys? This kid's just like walking by and he gets attacked. This young man. The Black community in Des Moines, Iowa, is on high alert as a man was reportedly jumped by 3 white people who he thinks were drunk. And he was walking to his girlfriend's place at 3:25 a.m. on Saturday, May 16th, when he was accosted by 3 white people who basically tried to kill him. He thinks they were drunk. Jones said, and that's the young man that this happened to. The men they assaulted him, and one of them said a racial slur at him, so he knows it was kind of like racial. He said he tried to run away, but they somehow got him and attempted to drag him in a creek and drowned him. Darquan's face was broken in 5 places. And once this lady came out of her apartment house and saw what was going on, they threw racial slurs at her. So this is really bad. The young man said he doesn't know these guys. The NAACP chapter would like to see it as a hate crime, which it very much sounded like. And they want to figure out what the motivation, the police obviously are going to find out what's going on, hopefully. And the suspects remain at large. And that is really some scary shit. Nails and glitter. From what we've seen and heard lately, a lot of parents can't deal with their kids in the house all day. They, I don't know anymore. Let me see. They let the kids raise them. Yeah, people are having a lot of trouble. I'm a teacher, and It's hard. Kids are hard. It's hard to teach your own kids. It really is. And I've done it since my kids were very, very little. They're used to it. But every developmental stage is different. One of my kids was absolutely great with me teaching them. Absolutely. And then she hit preteen and my IQ dropped faster than, it just depends. It's not as easy as it sounds. But nails and glitter. It depends who you ask. The white parents near me are losing their minds. The black homeschool moms, I know nothing has changed. Interesting. I believe it. Now, I personally have always taken personal responsibility. I do not think it is the teacher's job to educate my child. It is a joint venture. So I've always taught my kids, and it's hard. And so I get, if you've never taught your kids, you've never taken it upon yourself to think that's your job. I'm like crazy over the top, and I'm a teacher also. So I could see it being really tough, but got to find a way. Got to find a way to do it. So yeah, there's a lot. Have you guys been following this Sam's Club attack? I couldn't believe when I saw the real video. When I say the real video, I mean the video where it was in the actual store. And then the story, stinking believable. Oh my God, so horrible. I'll just briefly go over it, and then I know it's getting late. I hope I'm pronouncing their names right. Marvia Gray and her son Derek Gray were present on March 23rd this year at the Sam's Club in St. Louis, Missouri, and they were buying a television. Have you guys heard the details on this? Right. Yeah. Okay, Miss Elaine. Hello. It just kept getting worse and worse. I was like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. This is just weird what happened. The mom was, Marvia was a frequent customer of the store. She went there all the time, I guess, and she knew a lot of the staff. Among other items that they bought that day, and this is all from the actual, the attorney's write-up where I got this. There was a lot of articles on it, but this I got it right from the attorneys. It was like 1, 2, 3. It was really easy. Among the items, they bought a TV. And after purchasing, and this has happened to me before, after purchasing the television, they showed their sales receipt like you always have to do. They're very into that store. And you got to show your receipt and you go out and you start loading your car. And they did that. And then the Grays discovered that the television wouldn't fit into they had a 2018 Lexus sports utility vehicle and it wouldn't fit. Okay, it happens. It's happened to me before. Derek Gray informed the store staff that he'd return later in the day to pick it up with, obviously a bigger car or something. Sounds pretty normal. That's what people do. And the store knows it too, because he's not the only one. Started turning bad. He was told by the store employee to leave the television by a pallet near the door and that it would be there when he returned. He returned to the store later in the day, on the same day, with his receipt to pick up his television. When he returned to the store, he found out that the television wasn't on the pallet where he had left it in the front of the store. Okay, that's reasonable. Maybe they moved it, whatever. Kind of a hassle. When Derek Gray asked store employees about the whereabouts of the television he had purchased, it was withheld from him on suspicion that he was attempting to steal it. What the actual you-know-what? The man has a receipt for it. I bet the person there who sold it to him was probably still there. I'm just guessing. Derek, eventually that same day, the television was released to Derek Gray when a store employee interceded with management and confirmed that Derek had in fact purchased the item. And I think you can even look it up too, because you have those cards and yes. Almost done. So he left the store with the TV. As he was attempting to load the television, once again, into his vehicle, this man named Officer Claiborne was following him to his vehicle. I'm not sure what this is about, but after Derek Gray left the store, a store employee informed Officer Claiborne that Derek and Marvia Gray were at the store earlier and had in fact purchased this television that he was loading into his car. Despite knowing this information, Officer Claiborne, I do not get this, made an emergency phone call to the De Paray, I'm probably saying that wrong, police department. During this emergency phone call, Officer Claiborne falsely reported that he had witnessed Gray steal a TV and place it in the parked vehicle. It's like, what? Shortly after leaving the store with the television, Derek Gray arrived home at his residence with the television and informed his mom what had happened, that he had been falsely accused of stealing it, and she was there, I guess, when he bought it. The Grays immediately returned to the store to get a refund because she's probably like, I'm just guessing, like hell, we're going to buy a TV from a place that treats us like shit. Just a guess, after reading some articles on it. While the Grays were at the store attempting to get a refund, this is crazy. This was just crazy. This Officer Claiborne, Officer Summers, Officer Ryanson, cannot say his name, sorry, Officer Mall, without cause, or you can see it on their footage. They're just like standing there going, da, 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 and then I have it on my YouTube channel if you want to see it. Unbelievable. They're just standing there. He wasn't even, his hands were perfectly like, he was calm. It was like, oh my God. Not that he has to be, but you know how the police are with Black people. This was just unbelievable. They attacked them. Without cause or adequate provocation, in the presence of countless witnesses, violently and physically, they grabbed this. This is an elderly woman. The young son wasn't that young. He was, it was an older son, throwing them to the floor, beating them, handcuffing them, arresting them. He walks right in and starts to grab at the guy. If you're police, you do not grab at somebody. That is just unbelievable. These actions were captured on the closed circuit TV video caught by the surveillance camera, and it was so obvious. Marvia Gray was falsely arrested and charged with interfering with an officer, resisting arrest after she attempted to leave. The city police reported that they recovered a 65-inch television from the Grays as stolen property. It's like, oh my God, the story just got worse and worse and worse. So this thing got too messed up for words, but I wanted to know if anyone's following it and what is oh my God, these people are going to be wealthy. They're going to be wealthy. Well, they probably already were wealthy, but they're going to be wealthier because, oh my God. Okay, what's going on here, people? What's going on? The essential workers were having childcare issues. Essential workers' parents are having childcare issues and pairing up with other families to keep the lights on. Everyone's on their own. Yeah, it's really sad. Global entertainment. Well, it's not just in America. A lady from Israel went crazy on TV telling the world she doesn't know how to deal with her own children. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm just being really honest. I'm a teacher and I know the challenges. I actually homeschooled my kids for a number of years. Not all of them, but a couple of them. Okay, I homeschooled all of them, but not at the same time. Let's put it that way. One for 3 years, but she was really, really into it. So long story. I've had my own experiences. It's very tough, very, very tough. It's a lot of social push when you're in school, but when you're at home, wahoo, it's a tough thing. Let me see. Oh my gosh, scrolled up again. Trevor, are you going to get angry at I don't even play soccer. In fact, my kids don't either. So no, I'm angry. I'm more like disappointed in America, disappointed in my fellow humans. Not as much angry as just like kind of blown away. Like this stuff's surreal. This is crazy. It's surreal. Good question though. Let me see here. So no, I'm not that fun. Global television, global entertainment TV. Yes, we've seen the video in question and it was outrageous. Yeah, hello. I couldn't believe it. I was like, usually there's some sort of, oh my God. Just went from, I've done that. I've done what they did. And nobody ever told me I was stealing. Nobody ever stopped me. Nobody ever lied and called 911 on me. No, no, no. Let me see. Okay. Backing up. Sorry. Oh, goodness. Nails and glitter. The systems are designed to brainwash your kids early. Absolutely. Tishana, do you think if racism isn't taught in the home, that some people can be still indoctrinated through their peer pressure education? Yes, absolutely. Right. And I didn't have racism taught in my home. I didn't have it explained either, but never a word. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand. I knew something was weird. When I was 6 years old, I knew like something people aren't talking about. I don't get it. I didn't know what it was called. I figured it out at 12, figured it out a little bit more when I was 18. And then I went nuts and graduated in applied behavioral sciences and basically multiculturalism and ethnic studies. It was a long time ago. That's what they called it. But absolutely, our society, white is right. It's indoctrinating. My parents didn't have to say a word. If you have time, I'm not saying like, okay, go watch my video, but I have a video on why I think all whites are racist. And I tell about how I remember being indoctrinated. I can give you details. It's on my channel. It's called All Whites Are Racist, Don't Hate Me or something like that. Or Don't Throw Things at Me. No, it's called All Whites Are Racist. And it explains exactly how I was indoctrinated as a little kid. And my parents didn't even know it. And I have some stories to tell. But yes, what you said, Tishana, absolutely. And we're lied to. Our school books are full of crap. They are whitewashed. Our teachers don't even know it. Our teachers aren't educated. They're not educated in cultural competency. Sorry, they're not. If you go to college, maybe you'll get lucky and get educated if you're white. But that's too late. We should be educated at preschool, little, so that we can break the cycle of racism. Break the cycle. So it's just, it makes me crazy. But yes, absolutely. I know I was. I am lucky I had parents who weren't, like, I know my friend Dixon White, his parents were off the charts racist. And he had to kind of undo everything and figure it out. I just had to figure it out. And I still have to check myself all the time. And I always will. It is the American indoctrination. And that's why a lot of Black folks buy into it. They actually, self-hate. It is everywhere. It is sick, but it's everywhere, from the stupid Band-Aids that are all peach and pink and white to everything else saying white is right. But great comment. Thank you so much for asking or pointing that out. Yes. Nails and glitter. The systems are also designed to keep you so busy you can't see the change. Yes, exactly. We're all struggling. Like when Andrew Yang talked about a universal income. Oh, we'll never have that here. We can afford that, no problem. We'll never have that here, because then people will actually be able to have a certain level of subsistence. And that is not the way to keep the rich and everyone else struggling. So absolutely. Society teaches racism as a standard practice. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. Yep. Thank you, Nail and Glitter. Melanin Misfit. I don't understand why they're so ashamed to admit their true feelings for us. Years ago, they were proud of it. Yeah, that's why. Okay, you're going to think I'm the worst. If somebody does say something that's really racist in my presence, how dare they? I say, what? What did you just say? You guys are going to hate me. I'm such a bitch. Because I think it's so, I don't yell at them. I just say, can you say that a little bit louder? I didn't hear you. And I make them say it. If you're going to be a freaking sicko, you better be a proud one. And that's all I have to say. And of course, they say, what? They won't say it out loud because they know. They know. But yeah, I don't know what happened. But yeah, some people think it's wrong. And now they can't have all their fun like they used to. But I mean, they still are, though, because it's a whole new world where being overtly racist is just constantly shown, and people don't give a shit. I don't get it. I know that's a good point, though. I don't know. Also, an associate vouched for, they bought the TV or his receipt, or they could go to the counter, ding, ding, look it up. I know they can, because I've done that at Sam's before. I've had, did I buy this here? When? They have your records. Melanie Misfit, I think they deny it to keep us confused. Oh, definitely. It is a head game. What a trip. It's like it's just, there's so much to it. It's like a sociological nightmare. It really is. I mean, we still have it. So we're benefiting from it because we still have it. And if we didn't, we weren't benefiting, we wouldn't have it. Let me see here. Miss Elaine, I hope they become wealthier. I'm not sure what that was referring to, because I talked too much. I'm sorry. I was blabbing too much. But maybe you could jump in at the bottom and tell me, because I'm losing it. It's getting late. Let me see. Scroll. I so agree, Misfit. I hate calling you Misfit. Nails of Glitter. They deny it because if they admitted it, they'd have to admit that they are slaves in the system too. White privilege means you get a nicer prison cell. Yeah, see, that is one of my biggest, just kills me. The fact that white folks can't catch on to racism is not good for us. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and selfishly. It's not in our best interest. Yet here we are, perpetuating it still. Disgusting. And it's just like Lyndon Johnson said. His little quote. I should just have that as like a card and just hand out my cards. Just absolutely crazy. We just need someone to look down upon. Give us that and we'll empty our pockets for you. White folks literally are fools. We've been fooled for centuries, and every generation buys into it. We have a common plight with all the people who aren't bazillionaires. And the people who run this place are going to make sure we do not see that common plight and unite. So they're doing a good job. It's working. Valorm Pride. Hello. Welcome to the show. I know I butchered your name. I am so sorry. Put it in phonetics and maybe I'll get it. Welcome. I'm happy you're here if you're here still, because I've been blabbing and blabbing and blabbing. Nails and Glitter. We are, Okay, I skipped somebody by accident. I'm so sorry. Melanie the Misfit. Nails. I think they're afraid because then more of us will have pride and walk away from them and build our own communities. Even the Sambos will have, is that a bad word to say? Oops. Will have to admit that they've been duped. Yeah, I mean, there's good points. Good points. And we aren't taking fake ass allies either, right? Yeah, that's the thing. White folks who are watching or are in reruns or whenever they see this show, you don't get to say, I don't get to say, I'm a great ally. No. That's not our place. Okay. Somebody can say that to you. That's a really nice compliment. You don't boast about being an ally. That's like boasting about being human. You're supposed to act human. You don't get a prize. You don't get an award. It's a sweet compliment when people compliment you, but you don't do it. Yay, I'm so great. You find your reason for doing it, and I hope it's somewhere deep down inside you, but it better not be because you want to have your picture on Facebook. This is a lifestyle, not a hobby, not a cute little trend. If you're going to support your fellow humans, use your white privilege to do so. You got to get with the program. It is not just this like cool thing to do. If you're doing it to be cool, not good. Not good. Okay, I hope that explains And it is getting so late. Nails and Glitter, you're hilarious. Talking about the mother and son at Sam's Club. Thank you so much. Let me back up. Exactly. You hope they get rich. I hope they become richer and richer because you know what? That's all we have. We can't force people to act human, but we sure as hell can punish them and take their money. And I felt horrible for these. It was just the sickest thing ever. It was the sickest thing. I've done what they did. Not exactly, but I've done what they did at Sam's Club and those different types of places. But thank you for clarifying. Sorry, I'm losing it. No sleep. My new president brought out, let me see here. Your new president brought out that it's okay to be racist and bigoted. Just his father was a KKK sympathizer and Klansman. Yeah. His father raised him, was a Klan kid, obviously. And he spoke of eugenics many times in there's video. You can go online, look up Trump eugenics. He brags about eugenics. He's a eugenicist. Poor guy. I guess he didn't realize that videos were going to be forever, maybe. But you know what? He doesn't care. He's proud. Yes, Dad was caught at a Klan rally in full garb, arrested, and Vice News did a great inquiry and actually proved his dad was a Klan's person. And 45 is a xenophobic imperialist and only cares about himself and what he can get out of the world for himself. Absolutely. Got a couple last things. Quickly, you guys have been amazing. And that doesn't make him much different than any other power-hungry idiot leader. Yeah. But he's just it's just too much. Everything is about hurting people. Everything. Who does that? He does. I wanted to go over some stuff about Ahmaud Arbery's case, of his murder case, because, I'll just do it really fast and then we'll say goodnight. So if you can hang out, that would be great. But if you're too sleepy, I understand, because it is getting late. This week, a number of strange and disturbing things were revealed in his murder case. It was already horrific and strange and horrible, but dang. Number one, 2 separate videos came out showing, and maybe I didn't see them, but I thought they came out, at least were brought to social media's attention, having interactions with police when he was younger, and they were posted on social media. Number 2, the number of videos showing various angles of what was going on the moments before he was killed were posted all over the place as well, because apparently in that neighborhood, people have a lot of cameras. 3, it was revealed that the family who murdered him, they leaked the video. Did you guys hear that? They leaked the video because they didn't want people to think they were racist. Oh my God. No comment. But they leaked the video. There was a mysterious note left by a reluctant witness at the memorial and expressing remorse in not having stopped them. So it's very strange. Did you guys hear that? According to the investigator at the Georgia's Bureau of Investigation, the anonymous letter left at Ahmaud Arbery's memorial site has no connection to the case. Well, his attorney feels otherwise. Not shocked. The first line of this note that was left by an anonymous person read, had Ahmaud's first name there, and it said, Ahmaud, I'm so sorry. Next line said, I should have stopped. And then the third line said, them. And on the fourth one, they put, I'm so sorry, and it wasn't signed. And Lee Merritt, he told ABC News that after the Georgia Bureau of Investigation dismissed the letter, there was further information that was turned over to the agency and needed further investigation. What he said was, quote, we've received an anonymous tip purporting to be someone familiar with the person who wrote the note and is known to the McMichaels. It's just very fishy. The note seemed like they knew something. The family attorney believes that the person has credible evidence. that and can authenticate the letter and explain. The mom, his mother, did a video begging for whoever this is to come forward to give her closure. And I have that on my YouTube channel. I told everybody that I was going to follow this case closely, so I've been posting like a nut because these things just keep coming up. The note was inconsistent with being a well-wisher, and it said that they should have stopped them. That's not, yeah. The daughter of the two men charged in the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery posted a picture of him dead on social media. Like, what's wrong with these people? She's not just a kid. She's 30 years old. She posted a crime scene photo showing Arbery's body lying on the pavement in a pool of blood. What the actual you-know-what? What's wrong with that? Jesus. Had crime scene tape and investigators surrounding his deceased body. She eventually deleted the photo and apologized, claiming she only shared the picture because she's a true crime enthusiast. Sorry. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Also, these are just the strange things that have come out this week. The New York Times did a video piece by piece where they put together and precisely tracked the last 12 minutes of his life. It clearly showed they were chasing him. They were stalking him. It's on my, I was like, whoa. It's one thing to say someone's being stalked. There's another thing to see it. They were chasing him around that neighborhood. Like many Southern community, number 6, weird things came out this week. Weirder, if you can believe there's weird. In many Southern communities, its history is, studded with racial violence, but this town had 3 late 19th century lynchings with rope. This town is a racist town. That's what they do. Over the years, Glenn County police officers, another number 7, have been accused of covering up allegations of misconduct, tampering with crime scenes, interfering. And this is from reliable sources. A lot of this is from the New York Times and the Washington Post. Tampering with crime scenes, interfering with investigations of police shootings, and retaliating against fellow officers who cooperate with outside investigators. Number 8, the police chief was actually indicted, not for this, but something else. A couple days after Mr. Arbery, it was related to an alleged cover-up by some officers having a sexual relationship with an informant, and he helped cover it up. The chief, John Powell, had been hired to clean up the department, which the Glenn County manager described last fall as suffering from poor training, outdated policies, and a culture of cronyism. According to the New York Times, the Glenn County force was the sort of department where disciplinary records went missing and where evidence room standards were not maintained, leading the state to strip it of its accreditations. This was a bad, bad place. And I hope they figure out all the people who are in on this, on the cover-up. If this mom hadn't have spoken out, they'd be walking the streets today. Let me get backed up. I'll back up a little bit here. Sorry, I just had to kind of get through that. Okay. I went too far. Amazing. Global entertainment. Yes, it is late, so we'll say good night, everyone. See you next week, folks. We hope. Global entertainment, and you might already run to bed. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. Seriously. Thank you so much for your wonderful support, and you add so much to this. Tashana, do you think that with video recordings of the police brutality that more people are becoming aware of the problem and starting to care more? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because now it's in our face. White folks cannot avoid it. I mean, we could try, but before, we could just be like, oh, yeah, right. But when we see it, we have eyes, and you can only lie to yourself so much. and we have eyes. And yes, videos. I was in Compton, California during the Rodney King abuse, where I was a couple of 2 miles away from it. And that was one of the biggest things. And I was young. I was a teacher in a Compton Unified School District. And seeing that was, damn. They literally were beating the living shit out of a black man who was being beaten and couldn't do anything. It was insane. And that was kind of like this, for me, that was the start, because cell phones were just getting popular. And like I tell white folks, if you see, and you could get in trouble for this, you could not. I don't know your laws. The person might not want you to, but I feel strongly, you see a black person pull over, you start videoing. It's just how I feel. And that's personal advice. That's not, because you know what? It's called being human. It's very dangerous for when black people have police around them. Not all, but you know the stats just like I do, and it is not good. So I feel strongly. But when I showed the white people some things, I tell them, pull out that video and just keep it going. Be safe, but keep it going. Because you know what? We have videos, and police still get off with these horrific crimes. They still get off. So we got to do everything we can do. But great, absolutely great question. Yes, yes, and yes. Uh-oh, I better. Okay. Nails and glitter. I think we have just have evidence of what has always gone on. Absolutely. This has always gone. Oh, I'm doing this really cool video. Okay, I think it's cool. I hope you like it. Pulling in some of the shows. You might not like the shows in the 70s and 60s, but 2 shows particularly who really tried to do an anti-racism episode. And I've been watching them over, and Mr. Rogers is one of them. And it brought me to tears because it was just, okay, don't make me cry. It's not nice. And the other one was Little House on the Prairie. Now, a lot of her books have been scrutinized, and there's a whole nother thing. But the father, Michael Langdon, Michael London or something like that. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember his name. He did a good, boy, was it? It was so realistic. It was almost like, wow. He did it. I want to show it to you guys if you want to see it. I'm going to put them all together and put them up because I saw both when I was little. I was 3 when one of them was out, and I was 6 when one of them was out, and I saw them both live. So I was like, interesting. I saw them both live. I'm going to put those on videos if I can ever get to it. Jillian, hello. I hope you're still here. Like blabbing and blabbing. Welcome. Smartphones, absolutely. I just thought things would change with technology. Yeah, me too. The racism is just so it's just so entrenched in our culture. It's unbelievable. Glad you're here, Jillian. Nails and glitter. We can see it now, and that is the change. And it's good to see it. But yeah, I thought you're logical. You think, yeah. But it is exactly what every person over history in America has said it was. Now we have it on video. And it's still not ending. And it's disgusting. Thanks, Jillian. Nails and glitter. There's a documentation now. Not just family stories. Right, exactly. Thank you, Jillian. Oh my God, I love you. You're so sweet. Well, I am going to save this last part for another day. And my very last thing, I'll just tell you what it was, a little teaser here. Black Americans. This is a woman who, I believe she's a Black woman. She's a professor at Berkeley. And she wrote, and her story is called What Black America Knows About Quarantine. White people are protesting against being trapped at home. Black people know what it feels like to be trapped. And I thought it was a really nice article. So I'll read it next week. And I'm just going to literally read the first part of our article, and then I'll cite it. So if you want to finish it, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. If you are new, please consider subscribing. I do rants. I do sweet, nice, calm, educational, kind of calm. 101, I do a 101 series. I do interviews. My goal is to use my white privilege to get white folks learning and talking about racism in America, because we gotta support our fellow humans. It's called being human. So if you consider subscribing, I'd be thrilled. Look at my videos. I put out a ton of videos. I have a ton more coming up, and I appreciate your support. Everyone has been so good to me. Good night, everybody, and check out the videos if you have time, or maybe another day. And thank you for this great conversation. Really, really wonderful tonight. Thanks, Nails and Glitter, for being my monitor. And I will talk to everybody soon. Don't be a stranger. Write me on, I'm kicked off of Facebook, but you can write me, say hello to me on, I snuck back in, like I always say, a group that I used to have. Good night, Jillian. A group that I used to have, thank God I can still get into. It's a group of like 34,000 people, and people are in and out of it, and you can message me personally there in private if you want to. It's called Angry Soccer Mom page on Facebook. And I can't stand that, man. Ronald, yay, you say thank you. Good night. Good night. Oh, hit the like button. It helps to like up my chances of being seen, I guess. And other people seeing, like, the white folks need to see this. Because if nothing else, they see a white person talking about racism with a bunch of people, and I live through it every time. So good night, everybody. Thank you so much. This means the world to me. Good night. Wow, it's late.